I'm rolling along here with my Week 14 NFL predictions. I'll be previewing every game here on our YouTube page. You can catch me on Twitter at SNewsAnalysis. That's at SNewsAnalysis. The Pittsburgh Steelers, coming off of an emotional win last week versus the division rival Baltimore Ravens, will host the struggling, putting it mildly, San Diego Chargers at Heinz Field this weekend. Pittsburgh got some good news. As a matter of fact, yesterday, their Pro Bowl quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger, will be back in the lineup. He had missed 3 games with an injury in his absence. The Steelers went 1-2. The one win, though, was a huge one. And the way I look at the Steelers this week is the team had to be sky high after last week, beating their division rivals on the road with a third-string quarterback. And now that you bring Roethlisberger back in the fold, and to add to that Pittsburgh's in the middle of a playoff push, and we think you get a very inspired performance out of the Steelers here on Sunday. Just some injuries of note. Ike Taylor will be out for the Steelers, which is definitely a big loss. The Pittsburgh defense, you heard a lot earlier in the season, and you heard it last season too, about how eventually their age has to catch up to them, whether it's Ike Taylor or Troy Polamalu or James Harrison or Casey Hampton. And and the question was, how can these guys keep doing it year after year? Well, Pittsburgh, especially in the absence of Roethlisberger, their defense has been stellar. They've held 7 straight teams to less than 300 total yards on offense. The defense just keeps on ticking. Dick LeBeau finds unique ways to use his personnel, is never vanilla, and is continually building a defense that is tops in the league. And when the chips are down, when their star quarterback's out, the Steelers are one of those teams that don't complain and, get the job done. And that's a testament to head coach Mike Tomlin and the whole coaching staff, as a matter of fact, as well as those veteran players. You can't put a price on that veteran leadership. The Chargers come into this game having lost 4 games in a row here. I've seen the articles. You've seen the articles. The Chargers players have seen all the articles saying that for the second year in a row now, Norv Turner and A.J. Smith will be out at season's end. We don't know if any influence this will have on the final outcome of the game. Focusing on the Chargers in these last 4 games and the whole season for that matter, just very lackluster performances. And I hate to say it because I never like to call anyone out for their job performance because I never like to advocate anyone's firing. But it has to be a reflection of the coaching staff's ability to get these guys motivated. And the Chargers have been a team for 2 years now that have lacked in fundamentals, penalties, turnovers, bad special teams play, all indicative of either bad players or bad coaching. And I think with the Chargers, you kind of have a combination of the two here. One bright spot for the Chargers has been the emergence of wide receiver Denario Alexander. He's turned into the favorite target of Phillip Rivers. Alexander has 100 yards in each of his last 3 games and has 3 touchdowns in that span as well. He might have been a late pickup for you in fantasy, and if he is, maybe you're playing him this weekend. And maybe he does have another good game, especially with the absence of Ike Taylor. As a whole, Phillip Rivers is probably suffering through his worst season as a pro. 18 touchdowns, 15 interceptions. And overall, just those turnovers seem to be coming at inopportune times. Their running game doesn't help him much. Rivers is a good quarterback. I still believe in Rivers. I think eventually, once they get a new coach in there, once they sort of right the ship from a discipline point of view, I think whoever's coming into that job has an advantage that he has a quarterback that is as good as Rivers, and eventually he'll turn things around. But it seems like they're in a rut here with the whole Norv, Phillip Rivers, A.J. Smith trio. They're in a little bit of a rut here, and we don't see that ending this week in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is at 7-5. They need this game in the wild card race. They're currently tied for the 6th position in the wild card with the Cincinnati Bengals. They need this game to keep pace Again, I think they'll be sky high after that emotional win last week when they started their third-string quarterback. They'll welcome Roethlisberger back. Look for them to get the running game going early because it has struggled since Roethlisberger has been out. They haven't topped 100 yards rushing as a team in the last 3 games. We look for a well-balanced Steelers attack. We look for one of those games where the Steelers get up early and stay up and just slowly, methodically wear the Chargers down. And we're looking for a 24-10 type game here in Pittsburgh. So we like Pittsburgh -7.5. We like Pittsburgh -7.5 at home to take care of the Chargers and to solidify their wild card playoff spot. I'll be back here with the last, I believe, 4 previews left here for Week 14. As always, at S News Analysis, or hit me up on the YouTube comments. Thanks, guys.